Are you ready for pain? Are you ready for suffering? If the answer is yes, then you're ready.
This is just wrong, and I don't know why you're so confident about it. Oh my god. Family-friendly drag shows are just that. They are family-friendly.
Now, does anybody in this room know how to twerk? Alright, well, it's quite important to the story, so I will just give you a very quick demonstration. All you need to do is you just stand with your feet sort of shoulder width apart, like so. Okay, and I'll show you at the side so you get a better view that way. And you're crouched down into this sort of position here, so your bum's sticking out. Hope you're taking this all in. And then you just move your bum up and down like that, and that's twerking.
What do you think they're doing? They're performing Disney princess songs. They're not doing like WAP or Anaconda. Oh my god. So drag shows for kids, they are not sexualized and they are not sexual. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what is? Hooters. That's why I called it out. There's a kids menu at Hooters. You can buy merch for children and babies from Hooters. All these dads that bring their like 8-year-old sons to take photos with the waitresses and gawk at them, it's fucking weird. And I don't appreciate your comments saying they're both wrong. They're both inappropriate for children. No, family-friendly drag shows and drag queen story hour at libraries for children, those are fine. Those are perfectly appropriate for children. Hooters is not. And if you have a problem with children learning what sexual orientation is, then you better be boycotting every Disney princess movie that's ever existed.
I want to talk to all the trans kids for a second. So if you're a trans kid, get comfortable for a couple minutes. And if you're the parent of a trans kid, then, bring them over to the phone or bring the phone over to them, whatever works. Hi, I'm James. My pronouns are they, she. And I think a lot of you knew that because a lot of you were commenting on my last video about how scared you are. And I want to talk. As you know, I'm a non-binary person. I'm 27 years old. I came out, I think 4 years ago. I was 22, 23. But I've known my whole life that I was non-binary. I've always known I wasn't a boy and I wasn't a girl. And when I was growing up, it was really confusing because we didn't have the words to talk about that. And nowadays, we do have the words to talk about it. And I'm so excited to see how many of you are publicly queer and trans and accepting yourselves and have trans friends and communities where you can be who you are, because that's so important. And I wish I had that when I was growing up, but I have it now. So, it got better in the long run, I guess. But there are a lot of people, especially politicians and powerful people, that are talking about us and specifically talking about you and your rights to your body and your right to transition. And they are weaponizing you and politicizing you, and it's hateful and it's wrong. And you probably talk to your parents about it or maybe your friends. And I know sometimes you DM me about it and I read them, as many as I can. And I just want you to know that I love you. And there are tons of people. There are 400,000 people just on this corner of the internet that love you and are going to fight for you and are not going to let you be a political ping pong ball as much as we can help it. And these people that want to take away your rights to be who you are, they are scary. And I'm scared too. I would be lying if I told you I wasn't scared. But the reason they want to take away our rights to be who we are is because they are scared. Because they see our joy and our self-acceptance and our beauty as a threat. Because we celebrate who we are. And no matter how bad this gets, because it might get worse, it might get harder. I would be lying to you if I told you that it wouldn't. I want to be honest with you the way that people were not honest with me. It might get worse, but that's because there are more of us now, and there are more people that are publicly trans and demanding for the world to change and demanding that we are loved and celebrated for who we are. And so in the moments where it feels like it's too much, or you feel overwhelmed, or you feel really, really down, remember that your celebration of who you are and your joy, our joy at being trans, is our biggest tool for resistance. As long as we have joy for who we are, they will never win. I love you.
So I was in a comment section earlier, and the topic of kids at drag shows came up because, of course it did. And this person said, would you take your kids to a strip club or to a swingers club? Drag shows are adult events. And I said, no, I wouldn't take my kids to those places. Just like I wouldn't take my kid to the local bar and nightclub. But I would take my kids to Applebee's, which is a bar. because Applebee's is a family-friendly bar and restaurant. The local bar nightclub is not. So no, I wouldn't take my kids to a drag show at the local bar, a drag show that was intended for adults. But I would take my kids to a story hour at a library with drag queens, because just like there's a difference between the local nightclub and Applebee's, there is a difference between adult-only drag shows and family-friendly drag shows.
On Instagram, I was called a groomer and a pedophile. Instagram didn't think that was hateful at all. Usually, instead of removing content on Instagram, Instagram just says, because of the high volume of reports we receive, our team hasn't been able to review the post. Protecting people from bullying is hard. Harassment and discrimination are just gonna happen. But instead, this time, they said they didn't remove the content because it wasn't actually against their guidelines, even though this person was calling a queer person a groomer and a pedophile. There wouldn't be any kind of consequence for allowing people like this to still be active on their app, would there? Ashley then replied to my post saying, I will do just that. All of us sane mothers will continue to rage. It will never be over. There is a difference. No problem with gay people. Then literally the next sentence, she says, you want to be an F-slur and dress like a woman and then dance in front of children? That right there is what lights a rage of fire in me and millions of others. Fucking bring it. This person has never heard of children's entertainment. Sorry, Wiggles, no dancing in front of children. Sorry, Bugs Bunny, you can't dance in front of children anymore. The biggest red flag is when someone says, no problems with gay people, and then immediately calls gay people slurs. If she just read over this sentence once before she sent it, I bet you anything she could have read it over and seen the issue. I just want to point out I reported this conversation. Still, Instagram hasn't said it's hateful. She continued on commenting on that post saying, grown-ass men dressing up and playing house in front of children is fucking disturbing. You're right, Mr. Rogers was a criminal. Mr. Dress Up, ew. I've gone to many gay bars and I have no problem with gays. Girl, no one wants you there. This is the problem with people going to gay bars. A person like this thinks they are in a safe space when they go to a gay bar. But what they're really doing is making a gay bar a less safe place for the people who need it. Gay bars, much like Pride, are a place that queer people can feel accepted and loved and safe. These are the kind of people that we fear coming to gay bars. The kind of person that says, oh my god, I love the gays. Let's go out and get some mimosas. Meanwhile, behind your back, they're calling you the F-slur. Unless you are accepting of queer people, you do not deserve to be at a gay bar. Or any queer space for that matter. After this wonderful interaction, we donated to the 519 on her behalf by purchasing cookies from Craig's Cookies, which is donating all of the proceeds to the 519 from the 519 cookies. I will also be making a separate donation and encourage you to do so to any local queer charity. This person claims to be a mama bear and a Christian, but she sure doesn't love her neighbor. And all she's teaching her kids is to hate other people. Hope she likes donating to queer charities.
I get a lot of comments asking me about trans women in sports, especially since the Leah Thomas stuff, and obviously I think that Leah is amazing and should be allowed to compete with the women, duh. But I also don't think that we talk enough about transgender athletes like me. I run on my college's track team, and I think that I'm doing a service to transgender women everywhere by getting last in every single event.
When people ask me how online teaching is going, I'm just gonna show them this.
I know something you don't. I know something you will never know.
I thought you had to be a man to mansplain something, and I looked up the definition, and I think mansplaining might be a vibe and a thing about explaining an experience that you don't own. And maybe to somebody who has expertise that you don't have. So the other day, we have twin boys, they're 4. One of them needed to do a bush wee in the car, so we pulled the car over in a park, and my husband got out to take our son for a bush wee, and I explained to my husband how to help my son do a wee against a tree with quite a lot of detail. And they went and did that. And when they got back to the car, I said, honey, I'm really sorry. I think I might have just mansplained to you how to wee with a penis. Sorry. So maybe it's a vibe thing more than actually being male, because I'm pretty sure I was condescending and inappropriate. Occasionally I do that. He forgives me. It's great.
Rant time. So those of you who know me know that I'm a pagan. You also know that I'm new to paganism. Now, my stepdad claims that he knows all about paganism, solely because he grew up next to Salem, Massachusetts, and has talked to the official witch once or twice. Stay out of my religion.